And I just always knew that if I just kept my focus and kept my faith in God, that anything was possible.
What's up, everybody? It's Mike Shelton, man, and we got something really dope for y'all today, man. I've got one of my friends, actually he's my coach, Brandon Burns, BB, right? And his last name Burns, I'm gonna mess him up. No, I'm super excited about this, man, because I've known Brandon now for about maybe a year and some change or something like that.
That's fair.
I met Brandon at in Atlanta. He spoke at the 120 conference with Mr. Eric Thomas. Super incredible guy, speaker. A lot of you probably know who he is, #1 motivational speaker in the world. I got to see Brandon speak while we were there, and I just kind of connected with him on some different things to help me personally. And he was actually in the area with the Missouri gymnastics team, and we're still Razorback fans. We're gonna give him a pass right now, but just wanted to meet up with him, man, and all of us get together, just chop it up, and that's why we're here, just to kind of chop up some stuff, man. So what's up, B?
Man, I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this because we've worked together a lot, but we've never produced anything together, right?
Yeah.
Like I've helped you produce some of your own content, some of your own branding stuff from a business perspective, done a lot of work together. But this is the first time we've gotten to really sit down, dive into a little bit of both of our stories and really create something together. So man, I'm pumped to be here.
Yeah, so as you're talking about some of the stuff you've helped me with, do me a favor real quick, just like in a 10, 15 second window, if you can, let them know what you do, man, and like how they can reach you and stuff like that. Cause that way, some of these cats that follow me, they may be like, yo, Mike's my guy, but look, if that's Mike's guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, maybe I need to holler at him,
By association, I can be your guy too.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So like, give like a little bit of like information on what you do and what you got going, man, because they kind of know what I got going.
100%. So I'm a keynote speaker and a high performance life and business strategist. So for the most part, I'm specializing in taking personal brands, helping them start and scale their businesses, and specifically helping them build businesses with enterprise value. So something that Mike and I talk a lot about is, we're building this personal brand, we're getting you out there as a speaker, as a coach, but how do we make that into a business, right? That is a sellable business, enterprise value, something that when you don't want to be on stage anymore, you don't want to coach anybody. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Nah. But if and when it does, right, you still have a tangible asset that you can build. Because that's the biggest mistake that I see so many of these guys doing is it's the social media age, and I'm getting $5,000 for a sponsored post, or somebody came and gave me 10 grand to do a keynote presentation, which is phenomenal. But if you don't have a true business behind that and you don't learn the fundamentals of business development, it's not going to outlast you, and you're not going to have a chance at generational wealth. So that's a lot of what I specialize in addition to speaking myself, being a coach myself. It's a little bit all over the board, man, but it's fun work.
Well, no, I like the fact that you got more than one stream. You know what I mean? Like, we talk a lot of times, and I teach a lot of people here locally, especially barbers and people that are in the barber industry, about not just having a stream and your main stream being barbering, because let's just face it, a few years ago when COVID hit, we had to shut barbershops down, and a lot of barbers actually struggled, what I mean? Because they only had that one stream, whereas I was bummed, but at the end of the day, me and my wife had other things going, so we was able to kind of maintain through that, even though it was a dark period of time. But I like how you've got several things going. One of the things that Brandon is actually really helping me out, y'all, right now is that taking my speaking things to the next level, but also like how to monetize that off the stage too, though. And so that's the thing I really enjoyed. And we, to be honest with you guys, we're still working through. We don't have it all done to where we can present it and start having people sign up. But it's like your mind. The thing I like about you a lot is that your mindset is crazy. Like he has this saying, y'all, this at the school have heard me say this, like every day means every day.
Yeah.
Like, and that's a motto that Brandon lives by. Like every day means every day. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit? Because I love that, man. I love that.
Man, where it actually came from was I do a lot of commentating work with the Big Ten Network. Branched into ESPN now too. Got my first gig on March 3rd for ESPN. So I'm getting there. I'm moving up in the world.
Let's go.
With some sports broadcasting. I was a gymnast throughout college. I went to the University of Michigan. Did gymnastics there for 5 years. Coached, 2-time Big Ten championship coach with them as well. So I'm heavily rooted in athletics.
Sick, bro.
Man, it didn't feel like it when I was going through it. We'll get to that in a minute with the story, but it didn't feel like it was going to be this amazing resume when I was struggling through that. But man, it's such a deeply rooted background in athletics. But I was doing some commentating work with BTN, and I was out there for one of the shows, and somebody asked me, how often do you work out? Because, it was summertime, so I had the short sleeve shirt on, guns were out and everything.
Yeah.
I said, how often you work out? I said, every day.
Yeah.
And she was just astonished. She was like, but like every day? I said, every day means every day. I work out every day.
How else can I say this?
That means Tuesday. That means Saturday, Sunday, and everything in between. That's what it means, right? And it's funny to me that, especially in our space in entrepreneurship, people say, man, I work every day.
Yeah.
Do you open your email every day or do you work every day? I work out every day. Do you go to the gym every day or do you work out every day?
Yeah.
Because what I've realized, Mike, is that who you are is not set in stone because of what you've done.
Right.
And I had to learn that, right? Because I thought, okay, I was this D1 athlete. I was in the best shape of my life, doing death-defying flips as a gymnast. I made a lot of money as an entrepreneur. So I've done these different things and I've had pockets of success, but I started to identify with that success rather than identifying with who I am in that very moment, that day. And so I realized that commitment to who I am, my standards of excellence, my values, I got to reaffirm that every day. If I worked hard in the gym yesterday and I'm slacking today, every day didn't mean every day. I'm not who I was then today. And so I'm not. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, listen, I'm trying to tell y'all, listen, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. Every day don't mean every day with me when it comes to my working out, as y'all can tell. I'm about 2 days a week. I gotta get better. I gotta get better. All right, I'm sitting next to the man, so I gotta step it up a little bit. Man, do this for me. Tell us a little bit about who you are, like where you came from, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. A little bit about your background, bro. I think that's pretty dope too. I know it, but I want the people to know it though.
Man, so it's been a journey. Everything that you're hearing about now didn't start like that. I was born in Huntsville, Alabama, small town, about 45 minutes south.
Hold on a minute, Alabama or Auburn? Cause listen, I've been to Alabama, bro, and it's split 50-50.
It is. Okay, let me say this.
Okay.
I was raised an Auburn fan.
Okay.
My heart is still as an Auburn fan.
Okay.
But they don't win nothing.
They don't? Ever since Cam Newton. Ever since he left.
Cam, that was the year, that was like the year of every Auburn's fan dream, was when Cam was playing. But so no, when Alabama was in the championship game, I'm definitely gonna root for them. Okay. But now I root for Michigan against either of them.
That's fair, that's fair. Y'all ain't never gonna beat them though. But I get SEC all the year. You're in SEC country right now. But we'll go ahead, proceed.
Wait, give Harbaugh a couple more years. We didn't think he was gonna get Big Ten championships either.
Man, that dude's trying to go to the NFL after every year, man. Come on, man. Nah.
They try to steal him away. Man, but no, born and raised Huntsville, Alabama. Grew up without having a whole lot. I never knew I didn't have a whole lot. I thought, a 900 square foot house was normal.
Come on.
Until I found out that it wasn't. But other than that, man, relatively normal childhood. Started the sport of gymnastics when I was 10 years old. Completely changed the trajectory of my life. Matter of fact, the only reason I went to the University of Michigan was because of the gymnastics team. Dang. Because there are no men's gymnastics teams in the SEC.
Really?
None. The closest one to Alabama is actually Ohio State.
I would have never known that.
Yeah, it's a dying sport.
Dang.
So I ended up going to Michigan for that. Was a walk-on to the team. And from there, it was just 5 years worth of adversity. When I was in college, like I said in the intro, cut from the team 4 times in 5 years. Dad was diagnosed with cancer during that time period. Mom diagnosed with an incurable autoimmune disease during that time period. Nasty breakup during that time period. Just a lot of personal challenges and trial and tribulation that was during those college years for me.
Yeah.
And so it was just this constant process of pushing through that. And at times it was like, why? Like, I don't even see what's on the other side of it. And I needed a lot of motivation. Yeah. Right? And because I needed motivation, I started searching motivational speakers on YouTube. Yeah. Come across this guy named Eric Thomas. Yeah. Which we both know and love these days. Come across his stuff on YouTube, and I'm following him because I identified a lot with his story, right? He actually spent a lot of time in Huntsville, Alabama. His biological father wasn't in his life, similar to myself. So a lot of commonalities in that regard. So I started listening to his content, and I'm binge watching his stuff every single day, especially as a struggling athlete, getting cut from the team 4 times in 5 years. And so I watch his content, and one day I'm scrolling, and my gymnastics career had pretty much just ended. I had just found out within the last couple of weeks I needed wrist surgery to reconstruct what's called your TFCC. It's a small ligament in your wrist. So I pretty much knew my gymnastics career was over. In that same 2 or 3 week span is also when I found out about the health issues with my parents. And so it was just, the world crumbled in such a condensed period of time. And right at that very moment, I'm scrolling on Instagram. And remember, I'm 20, about 20 years old at this time. And I'm working throughout college as well, putting myself through college while doing sports, while actually trying to succeed academically, all this other personal stuff going on in my life. I see an ad pop up, one-on-one with ET for $250.
What?
Right?
Man, he's still charging $250 for one. I need a one-on-one right now. ET, if you see this, where you at, ET? I got you. I'll do $500. I'll double up. Hook a player up. I'm ready.
He's never done it. It was the only time.
Dang.
The only time in his entire 30-year career.
I know you hear me, God. Let him do it one more time for me. Nah, I'm messing with you.
Man. So, but remember now, I'm 20 years old, putting myself through college.
Yeah.
So I'm like, $200 or $250, that's a lot of money to me.
Yeah, no, right? For sure, bro.
Now here's what's funny, and I don't know if we caught this on the B-roll here, but before we actually started having this conversation, we were talking about my first car. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that I wanted at that point in my life was a 6 stereo system. Now my car was beat up. A stereo system.
Yeah.
I want to put a subwoofer in the trunk. Because
you was 20. You was 20. That's what 20-year-old people wanted, the bass. Don't want no gas players, want some speakers.
That's all I wanted. Because the car was a piece of junk.
Yeah.
But I wanted to put a 12-inch sub in the back. That's all I wanted, man.
I remember those. That's why I'm laughing.
Watch this.
Yeah.
I had it fitted. I didn't buy it yet, but I had it fitted. Guess how much it was going to cost me?
$250.
Woo! And so now I'm sitting there making this decision. Do I want to go have a one-on-one consultation with a guy I've never met? I don't know if he's the same off of YouTube as he is on the internet.
Yeah.
Or do I want to go buy this thing that I've been wanting?
Yeah.
This $250 is about half the money I got in my bank.
Well, it's like $1 million when you're 20 years old in college, bro.
All of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what tugged on me to say this is worth doing, but I took the chance. Cashed, I think it was PayPal back at that time. It wasn't even like an invoice.
Boy,
just PayPal $250.
Well, you're speaking your age right now. You said PayPal.
So instead of the $250, we get on a phone call at like 6 o'clock in the morning, a week later, and he says, "Man, you're at University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. I'm over here at MSU in East Lansing. It's only an hour, 15 minutes away. Why don't you come meet me for breakfast a few days from now, 6 o'clock in the morning?"
Man, ET a real one, man. I like that.
Promise.
He a real one. He a real one.
Here's the thing about him. It was a test.
Yeah.
Because 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm an hour and a half away.
So you're going to get up. Oh, okay.
4 a.m.
Cause for y'all around, where y'all at? I'm gonna tell y'all right now. ET, shout out to ET. He known for being up at 3 a.m. So ET up. The question is, are you up? Keep going. I just want to get him a little bit of background as to why, why he doing this.
That's right. I mean, and at this time, I gotta wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go meet him. I've never waken up at 4 o'clock in the morning on purpose in my life. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
That seems like a detrimental decision to my health and happiness, but for whatever reason, at that time, it was worth it for me. So I drive out there, I meet him. That one conversation changed my life, man. Completely changed my life.
That's
whole
awesome, man.
Spiritual outlook, everything.
Yeah.
It just changed right then and there. And ever from that moment on, I just started following him to every event that I could go to, volunteer at every event that I could. Ended up going to see the Success Series at Michigan State, free event that he put on at MSU every Monday. Went out there, drove. This is what my Monday looked like for 2 years straight. This was my senior year and my 5th year, my super senior year at Michigan. I would get up around 6 o'clock in the morning, go do morning lift with the gymnastics team at Michigan. Class from about 8 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I would train with the varsity guys for a little bit and then coach, because at this time I was also the volunteer assistant coach for Michigan men's gymnastics. Do that from 2 to 5, jump in the car, drive to Michigan State, hear ET do his keynote, get back in the car, drive back to Ann Arbor, coach personal training sessions at night to pay for the gas that I just used to get out to MSU.
Boy.
2 years straight.
Man.
Didn't miss but 2, both of which were for family stuff I couldn't avoid.
Yeah.
The last Success Series that I went to was a couple of months before I graduated. So I put together this folder, right? Cover letter, resume, my disc assessment was in there. We know ET loves that.
Yeah, I did that.
Put 55 pages worth of writing samples. I didn't speak back then. I was super introverted, unconfident, stutter my words, hated talking in front of people, couldn't do it. So I didn't speak, but I wrote. I knew I had similar philosophies, similar mindset, so I would write a lot. And I had 60 pages worth of writing samples in this little binder.
That you gave ET?
I was gonna give it to him.
Oh, okay.
At the very end of the presentation, he goes, "I keep hearing about this coronavirus stuff. I can't stick around, shake hands, and sign autographs, take pictures like I usually do." And he walks out the back door of the arena.
Oh.
And I'm sitting here thinking,
so you like, no, dog, you ain't getting up out of here that easy.
something in me.
Yeah.
Something in me said, I can't miss this opportunity.
No.
But here's the thing. None of us thought COVID was a real thing. Because this is the first week of March.
This is before it even broke yet. Like before it just shocked the world and shut the world down.
People had heard about it, but the world hadn't shut down.
Right.
Right? And so I don't know what called upon me to say I can't let this opportunity slip. But he walked out the back door of the arena. I'm sitting here thinking, my man's famous.
Yeah.
If I run after him, somebody's bound to tackle. I don't know who the security guard is, but he in the room
Well,
somewhere.
they gonna think you was security.
What?
I mean, you kind of swole now.
Maybe.
I'm just they be like, no man, he good. He with the team. He with the team.
Here's what you can't see on camera.
Yeah.
I got big muscles, but I'm 5'9" on a good day. If I wear the right kind of shoes, I might be able to convince you I'm 5'10".
Let's go.
Maybe,
Go. Yeah.
Right? So I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. I left my laptop, my backpack, everything that I had sitting right there at that desk, went out the other door of that same arena, sprinted up 2 flights of stairs, beat him to his car.
Yeah.
I knew where he parked his car every week.
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
Yeah. Hey, it is what it is. So what I hear, man, as I'm hearing you say this stuff, bro, which is like super dope. And this is the first time I've heard this story, like in this detail, is that, bro, you had a date with destiny. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, and like you wasn't gonna let a long round trip stop you. You wasn't gonna let the $250 stop you. Because you knew in your heart that this right here can set me up. Like being underneath this guru, being underneath this person, like I have to get with this guy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And what I even like what you said too was like, yo, like I even left my laptop and everything and rolled out. Like, bro, you was even willing to like, you was willing to lose that. You know what I'm saying? Because bro, let's be honest, I've been in college. I lived in the college dorm. People steal all the time. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that you were so like pinpoint, like tunnel vision in, like, yo, there's just something I've got to get to this guy, bro, that you was willing to sacrifice like whatever you had to do to get to him. Yeah. And I wonder, bro, as I was wondering as you was talking about that, like how many of us, we say we want certain things, we say we want to go to certain levels, right? But what are we willing to give up? What are we willing to sacrifice to get there? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because as a college student, like you said, $250 is a lot of money. Like we laugh at $250 now. We blow $250 now. You know what I'm saying? Just on dumb stuff. But like, man, like I just think that's crazy because listen, at the end of the day, bro, like you planted the seed. You know what I'm saying? And God allowed something beautiful to grow in it. And now, so I don't want to ruin the story. So what are you doing now? Like, so what happened with that as you met with E? You ran out there, you gave him the paperwork, like so what's like how did that connect you with him now? Like what's going on with that? Like I know, but I'm just saying like I want the people to know. Like
no question. So it was funny because I had this whole script in my mind memorized of exactly how I was gonna pitch it to him. Yeah. This is why I deserve an opportunity. This is what I'm gonna be able to do for you. This is how I can help you. Whole thing went out the window. Yeah. I was so scared, man. And you gotta understand the atmosphere too. It's like 40 degrees, raining because it's March in Michigan. That's what it does out there. Yeah. And so I just handed him this giant folder. E.T. don't read like that.
Now, what did he say once you handed it to him?
I don't even remember.
What was even his expression like?
Just imagine like this crazy guy that beat me to my car because he's used to like fans running up on him like that. That's true. But he's not used to somebody literally beating him to his car and saying, "Hey, I got this for you."
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm just glad I did it when I was 20 and not when I was 40. Because if I had done it when I was 40, I would have been arrested.
What you trying to say, man? I'm 40. So you trying? I'm literally 40. Are you trying to tell me? Look, E, I'm not running up on you. Police, don't worry about it. Like, no, I'm.
Well, see, you don't chase people down.
No, I'm too slow anyway. I'm not running. If I got to run, I ain't going. Like, I'm just telling you right now.
It's not worth it.
No.
Veto. Man. But no, I gave him that paperwork and he said, we'll figure out an internship for you. So I ended up committing to an unpaid internship for a few months.
Say that one more time.
Unpaid internship.
Unpaid. Thank you. I just want to make sure people understood that it was unpaid.
That's right.
Because like I'm saying, because bro, we live in a society now, it's like, what's in it for me?
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's willing to like sacrifice anything no more, bro. Like they want everything handed to them. You know what I'm saying? And bro, like, if no matter where you're trying to go in life, no matter what you're trying to accomplish, like you're gonna have to give up something. You're gonna have to like sow something. You're just not gonna reap all the time. You gotta sow something. And so even if that means doing free stuff to even prove your worth, because I'm sure there was a show and prove when you're dealing with somebody at that level. Think about how many people wants to deal with him. Period.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And they may even be more valuable than you, but like by you saying, yo, look, I'm willing to sow my seed, like do what I need to do for whatever I need to do to prove my worth. And there's still no guarantee on the other end.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
And see, that's what gymnastics taught me though.
Yeah.
Because when I was cut from the team 4 times in 5 years, every single year I kept coming back and I kept trying out. I kept trying out for the team.
Here you go again.
And I never got my reward for it. I never ended up making the team. But I outworked other people who were on the team, who were on scholarship, who knew that they were going to be there. And what that taught me was that I can put myself through hell for 5 years straight, outwork everybody who's got a cushy little scholarship, and I don't need a reward for it, which means I don't need to carrot to chase.
God, dog.
So how are you going to compete with me?
Yeah.
If you need a check.
Yeah.
You need a company car.
Yeah.
You need the vacation.
Yeah.
You need all these things just to feel motivated to work at your fullest potential. I don't need anything to chase.
You don't need none of that.
Nothing.
I'm telling y'all, but I wouldn't want to be in the same. I wouldn't want to race against you, bro. For real. That right there just gut check me. You know what I'm saying? Because dude, I'm just being honest, like bro, like we all want that payoff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you was willing to go there and get cut and feel that burn, that yo. B, thanks for coming out again. This is year 4, same result. You know what I mean? Like, bro, that's gotta be tough. But like, bro, but you trained your brain to understand, like, man, it don't matter. Like, I'm doing this for me and whatever. If I make the team, cool. If I don't, cool. If you don't make the team, you daggone ready to end it all almost. You know what I'm saying? Because everything rides on you making. But bro, that's a crazy mentality. Talk about that mentality, man. Like that's nuts. Like
hard work never disappears. That's all it is. Hard work never disappears because the thing is, there's nothing wrong with wanting the payoff. Right. Wanting the payoff is completely normal and natural. We were just having a conversation about cars earlier. I said, having nice cars is one of the reasons I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like I want to make money so that I can afford I'm super passionate about it. So there's nothing wrong with wanting the payoff. But what you have to have more faith in is that the process will produce a result internally that is greater than what it could ever possibly produce externally.
Wow.
Meaning, yes, if you put in the required effort and sacrifice, then maybe you'll get a nice car, big house, nice vacations, or whatever else that you want. But who you will become is infinitely more valuable than that.
Yeah.
Because when you become the right person, you can go create whatever you want because you've become the person who is capable of doing so.
That's hard.
And so if you have enough faith in that, you should never need a carrot to chase. Because I knew that throughout that process of getting cut from the team over and over and over again, I was becoming somebody that when I one day had a chance opportunity with Eric Thomas, I would funnel that energy and that dedication, that commitment that I had learned and the personal characteristics I had learned about myself, I could funnel that into a different opportunity and be 10 times as effective as somebody who had never gone through that inner work.
Yeah, so what does it feel like, right? Because as you're saying this, I know people are watching this right now and they're like, yo, how can I tap into what Brandon Burns is tapped into?
There's 3 steps. So here's the thing. People talk about work ethic all the time, right? Work ethic is really just what we have come to name the aggregate of 2 different skill sets. One of those is discipline and one of those is passion. If you're passionate about something, you don't even have to be disciplined. You're just gonna do it anyway.
Right.
If you're passionate about working out, nobody has to tell you to work out. You just do it because you enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got to have some kind of alignment between what you're doing and what you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Right? You got to have some passion there. Discipline, if you're disciplined, even if you're not passionate about it, you're going to put in the work anyway. Right? So if you're disciplined, then and you're passionate, you're always going to be putting in the work. The third thing is just faith.
Yeah.
I have so much faith, and it doesn't have to be, I choose to believe in a higher power. It doesn't have to be that way, but you have to have faith that who you're becoming is greater than what you're getting.
Yeah.
If you don't have faith in that process, like if you don't believe in personal development, it's going to be really difficult to push yourself through those times if personal development is all that you're getting.
Yeah. Dang. My man just gave y'all 3 steps on how to freaking do it. I think one of the things you said is the common ground that I have with you, Brandon, is that I also grew up in a home that was 600 square feet. Like,
you got me beat.
Man, I got you beat. Not like I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? But I grew up not knowing who my father was and all that type of stuff, man. And cats like us that come up, from, you know, because I'm from Arkansas, you're from Alabama. And, you know, when you're in the South and you're poor is poor, right? Like, but when you're in the South and you poor, I just think it hits different.
It's different.
It's a different type of poor. Because I done been to a lot of major cities and poor is poor. But man, when you in the South and you poor, something you said, bro, like I didn't even know I was poor till somebody told me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was me, bro. And like, I feel you on that, man. And I think like, for me, like that as I grew up, like I'll never forget, man, like I used to think I could fly. Like I used to have this little blanket. You know when you was a kid, like you had that little blanket, and then you just took that little blanket everywhere you went. Man, I remember one day, man, I used to tie that thing around my neck, bro, like a cape, like a Superman cape, man. And bro, you couldn't tell me I couldn't fly until one day I literally took off running and I went like that down some stairs and just tore myself up. And I just remember my mama said, I told you couldn't fly and this and that. And I remember, bro, like in that moment, like it kind of jacked me up because I realized, bro, like, yo, like I'm not who I think I was, or I can't do what I think I can do, and I allowed like limitation. Don't get me wrong, my mama was right. Like I couldn't fly, but I just remember like my brain went from like this limitless thought process, I could do anything, be anything, whatever, you know what I'm saying, to like, man, I gotta survive. Like I can't be jumping down those stairs like they're like no dummy. And then like I say, kind of like my boy, I never forget my boy Wheezy. That's what we call him, Weezy. His name Chris. We call him Weezy because he always Weezy. He had asthma. And shout out to Weezy if you watching. Weezy, I remember one day Weezy came to my house, man. He was like, "Bro, you ain't got no TV? You ain't got no Nintendo, man. This house sucks." Like he was like,
called it out.
Bro,
it is.
Bro, you poor. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, like, and I just remember, bro, like just as a kid, man, just like at one point feeling like I could do anything, be anything, to like now it's like, man, I'm poor. Like this is who I am. Like,
so let me ask you this though. What did that do to you? Because I had the same experience where I went over to a friend's house one time, my best friend when I was in second grade, and I would go over to his house all the time. And then he knew, or his parents knew where we were from. And his parents said he's not allowed to go over to my house because of the neighborhood that we lived in. And that for me, it was that same situation where I'm like, I'm still a kid, but it was like light bulb moment. Oh wait, maybe the situation isn't normal. So what did that do to you? Was it discouraging? Did it motivate you to get out of it? Like how'd that affect you?
Man, I think as a kid it discouraged me. But then once I grew up, cause I grew up, like I never knew who my father was, right? My mom, she was a cocaine dealer. Like my mom ran cocaine from Miami to Arkansas with the Cubans. Like in the 80s, it was real big. The cocaine movement was huge, but she ended up getting caught and I got put in foster care. And then my grandmother came, got me, and we were still like super poor, bro. But like, I just remembered like, just because my mom, bro, like in a short amount of time, she always had a lot of money. But we was what we call hood rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we couldn't like go buy the cars, the houses, because they're gonna ask, well, where you getting all this money at? Like you ain't even got no job. You know what I mean? Like, and so like I remember like just in that one little moment, my mom, it was a moment, bro, a defining moment in my life to where a light bulb came on in my head. And this gonna sound crazy to you probably, but I remember I said, you know them little swimming pools you can buy at Walmart? They're like 1 foot, they're like $10, like made of plastic. I remember we were walking at the Walmart. I said, "Mama, can we afford one of them pools?" And my mama was just like a boss, like some kind of mob person. She said, "Baby, we'll buy all them damn pools." And she just pulled out this big wad of money. You know what I'm saying? And I just remembered in that moment, I was like, I just gotta get the money. I just gotta get the money. I ain't gotta live like this. I just gotta get the money. You know what I mean? But I realized how she was getting money was not the way I wanted to get money though. Because the way she was getting money had huge like things riding on it, like her freedom, her life. You know what I'm saying? She could die. Like the consequences of that was nuts. And so, bro, I ended up like realizing at an early age, it's like, yo, like this stuff is possible, but like I can't do it the same way they're doing it, like my uncles is doing it, like my brothers is doing it, like my mama was doing it, like my stepdad was doing it. And so, bro, like I realized I was always like a thinker, bro. Like I would see the type of people they hung around. I'm like, yo, I can't hang around the type of people. You know what I'm saying?
Break that down for me though, because a lot of people don't have that level of self-awareness. Or even awareness of their surroundings. Like they just think just because I grew up around these people, or these are the people that I find myself surrounded with, that is who I'm going to make it to the top with. So how'd you, from that age, get that kind of awareness?
Man, I'll be honest with you, bro. Like, and not to go super spiritual on you, bro, but like, bro, I found God at an early age, man. And I realized like, for the wages of sin is death. You know what I'm saying? And my grandma used to always tell me like, look, if you go this road, two things gonna happen for you. It's a cliche. Every party tell you either you're gonna die or you're gonna be in prison. And I looked at my grandma, my mother, my stepdad, all my uncles, they was either dead or in prison. You know what I'm saying?
Proof.
Yeah. Like I had like, this ain't no movie. Like my life was literally the movie. Like, and so I just realized that, yo, like if I'm gonna be successful, if I wanna be who I wanna be, and back then, to be honest with you, bro, like I wanted to like fly a plane. I don't know why I wanted to be a pilot, bro. Couldn't tell you why. But I said, yo, I gotta get around people and be around people that don't have this on their mind, where they want to make fast money selling dope. They don't want to do because we had people we call boosters. They go, you tell them like, man, I remember every year, bro, I got my school clothes because we would go to a booster and be like, hey, this is what I want, blah blah blah. They be like, all right, so if you at the store, that's $300. They would steal it. Like my mom would pay them and pay half price. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's just like, for me, I just realized like I don't want to be none of this. So I started hanging around people that didn't sell dope, that didn't boost. You know, we called it boost. And we didn't.
Yeah, so she would pay, so it would cost $300 if you went and bought it in the store.
Yeah.
She would pay somebody $150 just to go steal it.
Yeah, half price.
Never heard that.
We call them boosters.
How have I never heard of this?
Listen, man, it's Arkansas thing. but what I'm saying is, man, is that like I just saw like the type of, like I just remember my mom always being paranoid. Always looking through the blinds, just the life that she lived. And I just remember, man, like God has more for me than this. You know what I mean? Like my grandmother told me as a very small kid, like Mike, like God has a calling on your life. Like you're gonna reach the world with your voice and the message that He given you. And she used to always tell me like, look, just because you live in this is not your ending spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she was just like, God is going to use all. I know you don't understand it. I don't understand it as your grandmother, but just understand that God is going to use this to elevate you and not kill you with it. And you're going to have a message for the world. And so, man, like she would always just send me to church. She'd put me on the church bus. You know what I mean? She would just put, I didn't even like going at first, but then I started meeting friends. And so, bro, I just changed my whole circle, bro. And I think, I think he has a quote. I want to say it's Russell Simmons, where he said, look, if you the best person in your circle, like you need to find a new circle. So, bro, I started like getting rid of friends, you know, and at an early age, like I recognized all this type of stuff. And not to say I didn't have friends that were knuckleheads and doing stuff on the side, because by default, where you live at, it's just around you. But I chose not to be around them and distance myself from them as much as possible, man. And I just always knew that God had a calling on my life to do greater, and that where I was at, that wasn't a period for me. That was a comma. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that's really how that came about, bro, to be honest with you. Where's
the faith come from, though? Like, if somebody's listening to this and it's like, okay, that sounds great. I can see how that type of faith and that level of faith is going to pull me through some of these situations, you know, keep me moving in the right direction. But if I don't have that right now, either the faith in myself or the faith in something higher than that, where do you get it?
Man, I'll be honest with you, bro. Like, I really truly believe that my faith, like the faith, because I felt God's presence in my life, like at a very young age, bro. Man, like when He touched my heart, like when he actually like touched my life, like all this other stuff going on around me, like he was the peace in the storm. You know what I'm saying? And so like for me, like it's hard to explain, like to give you just like that answer, but I always knew like, man, like I'm protected. There's people shooting all around here. There's like Crips. I grew up in a Crip neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like like God, he kept me from that. You know what I mean? And like, and so for me, like I always felt His presence in my life. Always, like everywhere I went, like the Bible says that He'll never leave us nor forsake us. You know what I'm saying? And I always felt His presence with me, and I always felt Him convicting me not to do certain things, and so I was led by the Spirit. So I would say, man, like whenever you come into a real contact, a real just encounter with God, bro, like you can't help but know that there's something greater than you. And you can't help but like, yo, like God, like I give you me, like I give you me. And then God started showing me. You know what I'm saying? He started revealing to me like, yo, like I've created you to do this. I set you apart to do this. And then you start seeing Him opening doors, and you start seeing Him like things that normally don't even make sense as somebody that grows up in a situation like me, you grow up in. Like we're starting to get put in certain positions and getting favor with certain people. And bro, when people look at my story, and I'm sure when they look at your story, they can't help but say, yo, man, there's something going on. There's got to be a God.
It gets to a point where it makes less sense for there to not be a God.
Right.
Than it would for there to be.
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, like, bro, like we still have to put faith into action, right? Yeah. Like we can every day choose to do God's will for our life or choose to do what we want to do. And so, bro, I still believe that God gives us that free will, that choice, right? And so, bro, like I choose every day to live the life that He's called me to live.
So good. good.
You know what I mean? Like, and so by doing that, bro, I reap the benefits of that. Like whenever I'm doing what God has called me to do and I'm living the full purpose that he's called me to live, bro, I can't help but win.
Do you remember the prayer that I told you to pray a couple of days ago?
Yes.
Because you said that God started showing you who you really were.
Man, that was man. Go ahead, tell him the prayer, bro. I ain't even gonna be able to say it, bro, because I actually, if I pulled up my phone, I think I even saved it on my phone. I'm just gonna say, y'all. So me, like I say, y'all, Brandon's my coach, y'all. And Brandon told me one night, we was talking a couple of weeks ago, and Brandon said, I want you to pray and ask God to show you the way that he sees you. Yep. It was along the term. Was that right?
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And like, bro, that was so deep and that's so profound, because at the end of the day, a lot of times that when we ask God things, we go in with our own sunglasses on and our own preconceived answer of what we want God to say. That, bro, if we would just sit there in the stillness of God, and if we would just sit there and meditate and ask God, like, yo, like, God, clear my mind, give me a blank canvas right now, and I want you to show me the way that you see me, bro, it would rock our worlds. Yeah. To see us how God sees us, because, bro, the way we see ourselves and the way that God sees ourselves and the way that people see us is three different things.
That's right.
But the crazy part is, bro, the only one that matters is the way that God sees us, because he's the ultimate creator who created us and gave us the talents and gave us the gifts that he's blessed us with, bro. And so it's, yeah, bro, that messed me up, bro. I woke up the next day like at 4:00 in the morning, because you know, this is what's crazy. When you sent me that, because I'm gonna tell y'all, Brandon don't text. He sends you voicemails. He sends you voice text messages.
That's true.
And sometimes them jokers be like 5 minutes long. Brandon
it's on brand.
But I love it though, because bro, I honor them. Like, I'm grateful for them. So I said, yo, I'm not even gonna listen to this till in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So the dopest thing was that morning when I woke up, and after I prayed, I took a shot of water, got me some coffee in my system. Yep. Bro, I sat there and I just played that, and I was just sitting there, bro, in the darkness, the stillness, while everybody's still asleep. It's still dark outside. I got my little light on. I'm just sitting there listening to your voice say that to me, and I'm just like, yo, like, Lord, like, show me the way that you see me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And bro, like, whenever God starts to show you the things and show you the way that he sees you, bro, he even starts to expose things in your life that you don't even need there, bro, that you thought that you needed. Yeah. And you realize, like, man, I don't even need this. Like, God is showing me, like, I'm relying on that. I need to be relying on him.
Because you're so much greater than that you don't need it, but you don't see it. He does.
Yes. And so, bro, I thank you for that, bro, because that right there, that jacked me up, man. I ain't gonna lie. In a good way, like, not a bad way, man.
Right. I remember my mom gave me this advice one time, because I didn't used to be. I'm incredibly spiritual now, right? Yeah. Huge believer.
Now, when you say spiritual, what does that mean? Because I mean, again, not trying to put your beliefs, because some people, spiritual might be anything, bro. So like, what does that mean if you don't, just for the listener?
I believe in God. I believe in the Christian God. I don't necessarily subscribe to the institution of church and everything else that goes along with it.
Okay, cool.
But personal connection with God, like, that's the most important thing for me, right? But I didn't used to be that way. I used to be super skeptical, right? I was that guy that's like, well, science says this, and I don't know if this makes sense. Logically, right? Even though I grew up going to church, my parents made me go to church when I was a kid, but I just was always having that skeptical mind. One time, my mom, like I said, she had a lot of health challenges, especially when I was growing up, and she found herself in the hospital. And this is right when I think I was a freshman at Michigan. So remember, she's in Huntsville, Alabama, 12-hour car ride away, and I'm in University of Michigan. And that night I was at the grocery store. I don't know why. I was distracting myself, by going to the grocery store, because I didn't want to think about it. But I knew that she was in pretty rough shape at the hospital back at home. And my parents assured me, don't come home. But I was terrified, because my mother is like that person.
That's everything, man. Mama's
everything.
Mama. Yeah.
And I remember I was walking through the aisles of the store, and I locked eyes with this woman I've never met in my life. Middle-aged African-American woman, never seen her in my life, didn't ring a bell of anybody that I would recognize or anything like that. And we locked eyes for 0.2 seconds. And the level of peace that came over me is you can't articulate that.
Right.
And I texted my mom. She still had access to her phone, so I texted her. She had just gotten done with a couple procedures or anything. And I texted her, I said, you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I said, God just told me you're gonna be okay. I told her what happened. And she said, never forget that moment, because you never know when God's gonna use you the way that she used her that night. And it made me reconsider the way that I interact with people.
Yeah.
Just the way that I carry myself. Because you never know who's gonna see God in your eyes just for half a second.
Man.
And what that might do for their life, for their peace in that time of trial and tribulation. You just don't know.
And that's so deep, bro, because if you think about it, man, the Bible talks about how we are God's highest form of creation. And that we were made in his image. And sometimes, bro, like, not that we're God, big G, but we're little G in that moment to people. And you just don't know how God will use you. Because that's crazy, bro. Like you said, the lady didn't say nothing to you. She just looked at you. Yeah. And the peace that was in her life, I call that the Holy Spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like the Holy Spirit that was in her life. And that's cool, man. That's what's crazy. That lady will never know this. She don't even know the impact she made on your life. And now that impact hits you. And now the lesson that your mom taught you through that, now how many people you're going to impact, man, bro, that's crazy. Yeah. Like that's just randomly in a grocery store, bro. But that's the thing, bro. Like we are the hands and feet. You know what I'm saying? Of God, man. And that's just, oof.
And that's why I told you to pray that prayer, because as soon as you see your own gifts and talents the way that God sees the gifts and talents that he gave you, you begin to feel obligated to do something with them. When you begin to believe that you are sent here with an obligation, with a responsibility that you have to execute with excellence because that's your purpose here, you start to treat life a little bit differently.
No, and you're right, bro, because I'm going to tell you, man, like for the people that want to know what gifts or what are we talking about, these gifts that we're talking about, I can tell you how to identify your gifts and what keeps you up at night. What is the thing that even if you tried to be like, yo, I'm done, I'm quit, it won't let you do it even if you wanted to. And the reason why it won't, because bro, I've been there before, man, like and the reason why is because God, before you was even in your mother's womb, the Bible talks about that he had a plan for you. And it was a plan to prosper you, not to harm you, to give you hope in the future. And those talents that he's given you are the things that's going to elevate you. And the reason why you can't rest is because he's not done with you. And he gave you those things for you to do a certain work with him.
That's right.
And it's cool, man, just to see like you doing that work, man. And whether it be through gymnastics, whether it be you, I saw you on the Big Ten Network one time. I saw you just living, like, bro, just you being in the room with people, like, bro, like that you probably coming from Alabama, you probably would have never, ever thought, like, dude, growing up in a 900 square foot house, doing the things that you're doing. And then all you was just willing, bro. Like,
that's what I tell people all the time is God never asked you to be God.
Yeah.
God asked you to show up.
That's it.
Everything you find to do with all your might, right?
Yeah.
That's all he asks of you. If you just show up with the opportunities that he puts in front of you and you execute to the fullest of your ability, you're never gonna have a problem. That's all I did.
Yeah.
I didn't have a plan. It's so funny when people hear the story about how I got linked up with ET, ended up becoming his booking agent, ended up doing so much work with him, partnering with him. I mean, people assume that I plotted this thing out.
Right.
Like, oh, okay, so you knew you wanted to get into the personal development, speaking and coaching industry when you were in college, and then you placed yourself around ET, and then you did this whole situation to work for him for free, and then you got the job, and then you did. No, I'm not that smart.
Right.
You think I figured all this out 3 years in advance?
Right.
All I did was certain opportunities were put in front of me, and I was able to have a clear enough heart.
Yeah.
It's not clear enough sight. It's a clear enough heart to identify what's a real opportunity versus what's a distraction, and then execute on it. That's it.
Well, it makes sense though, bro, because again, since we just keeping this biblical, our steps are ordered too, though.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and bro, the thing is, I would even make the argument, even if you did plan it out, bro, that's still dope. Because listen, the Bible talks about that faith without works is dead anyway. Yeah. So you would still have to put in the work because that's what moves God.
Yeah.
Is our faith and us putting it into work, not just us saying, God, hook it up. I believe in you. We just sitting here like, no, like, bro, like, I believe that I have faith, y'all, that I'm gonna look like Brandon one day. But I can sit here all day and just talk about it, or I can go out there and pick up some weights, or I can, instead of eating fried chicken, eat me a grilled chicken sandwich, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, bro, there's certain things, you can have the thought, you can have the vision, but bro, you've got to have the work, you've got to have the action plan to see it through, bro.
It's like faith moves mountains the same way that a bicycle moves mountains. You can't have faith and then the mountain just picks up all of a sudden by an act of God and it moves. But if you get on a bicycle and you start pedaling, that mountain moves because you go right on over it.
Man, this guy crazy.
Simple as that.
This guy crazy, bro.
Man, okay, let me ask you something though.
Yeah. Listen,
we
keep asking me.
We gotta throw the ball back in your court.
Okay, all right.
So I want to know, like you talked a little bit about how you grew up. right? And what that situation was like. How do you go from, I mean, there's obviously some time between that situation and where you are now. What does that look like? Because I mean, I know, like, just from a story standpoint, you said that, you know, your family was dealing drugs and all this, this gang environment, everything else. How do you go from that to being in the position that you're in today?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm not saying this to get some cool points with my wife. I promise you I'm not. But bro, I'm telling you, whenever I married and I met my wife, we've been married now for almost 17 years. Been together almost 18. Bro, I elevated because of her. 1,000%. Because bro, like when you have somebody that believes in you, when you don't believe in yourself, when you have somebody that speaks into your life, when you can't even speak to yourself, when you got somebody that speaks to those things inside of you that you don't even see no more, and they can pull that out, just grow those things in you, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it ain't just me, bro. Like I ain't even gonna sit there and try to play you like that. Like, yeah, bro, I was just so dope and this and that. But I always knew, bro, that this right here, and I say this a lot to Heather, which is my wife, and my son, Isaac. I always say, look, like, I want people that when they look at our family tree, like when I say people, like family that comes generations after us, right? Like, yo, like, my family tree before great grandpa Mike and great grandma Heather, it was jacked. You know what I'm saying? But like, bro, like from there on, man, like they just, man, our whole family changed, our whole lineage changed because, you know what I'm saying? Like the Bible talks about that a wise man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm trying to do, bro, is change my whole family. Like, bro, I give you the funniest thing. I took my son back to the house that I grew up in, and this is the first thing he said, bro, and it blew my mind when we pulled in that neighborhood. He said, "Dad, is this place abandoned? Like, does people live here? Like, you know what I'm saying?" And in that moment, bro, I'll be honest with you, like, I was like, "Yo, man, what you talking about? Where I'm from, boy?" You know, I'm like, "Yo, like, this is dope. Like, my son will never know what it's like to live here. Would never know what it's like to grow up like this."
It's totally foreign to him.
Bro, totally foreign. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, like I can, you know, be like, yo, man, you don't know nothing about this. And that's cool he don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? That's not a badge of honor for my son to have to go through what I went through. Like, it's a badge of honor for me to say, like, look, I changed everybody after me.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, bro, it's bigger. So my why and my reason is because, bro, like I want to change my family's lineage after me to where when they think about poverty, it's just something they see on TV. When they think about like living a certain way, that's a movie act. Like to where it's almost like that's not even real because, yo, like we have set up this structure. We have set up all of this stuff for our family to grow spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, like to where it's just like, it almost don't even seem real. And so my wife, bro, I go back to her. She always knew like I wasn't meant to like, and again, not to hate on nobody that works a job, right? But I've always known I was an entrepreneur, always. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I still understood until I get there, I have to have a job. Right. So anybody right now has got a job and you call the entrepreneurship, just trust me, just keep working your job. Don't quit your job until you know to quit your job. Like I'm not telling you quit your job, I'm telling you keep your job. But what I'm saying is that like that, but again, she knew like, yo, like if you're gonna do something, this is what I always see you passionate about. Like, go over here, like, see what that's about. And God would use her. You know what I'm saying? So that gap that you're talking about, bro, I'm telling you, that's my wife. That gap is like, you can just put Heather's face right here. Boom. And that was the bridge between here to where I'm at right now is Heather. And a lot of people they say they got the Holy Ghost. I got the Heather Ghost. You know what I'm saying? Like I always hear her voice right here. Don't do it. I'm gonna kill you. Like, but no, man. So I have to give her credit, bro, because I have to give her flowers while she can still smell them.
Yeah.
You know, obviously it's God. I can go to cliche God, but I'm telling you, man, God will put people in your life, bro, to help you get to where you're going because you can't do it all by yourself anyway. And that's the problem. People feel like they can do it all by themselves and you just can't.
Yeah.
You know?
How do you recognize those people? How do you know she was the one?
Woo, this is a crazy story, man. But the first time, well, not the first time I met her, but the first time she ever let me take her out on a date and pick her up, I don't know, I can't explain it to you. I just remember opening the door, and when she opened the door, I knocked on the door. When she opened the door, she had these she got this bouncy, beautiful, curly hair. She kind of just shook it like that. And she had these glasses. She just looked at me. I said, that's going to be my wife. That's going to be my wife. Nothing deep. I didn't look at her. It was just like, I just knew. Now, she didn't know.
Right.
But I knew. You know what I'm saying? And so I went after her. Like, you know, I went after her until finally she actually didn't like me that much, to be honest with you. I called her too much. You know, and I was texting her, bro, back in the day when you had to hit the 2 button 3 times to get the C letter. So, bro, I'm texting. Had to hit every button like 30 times just to say hi. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I went through it for her. But no, I quit talking to her because I felt like I kind of felt it. And then she, one of the things, man, you know, back in the day we call, you know, when you chasing a chick and then whenever you kind of feel that cold shoulder, what you do, you just go mute. So I cut it off. You know, and I'd love to hear her side of this part of the story. but out of nowhere, you know, cause I want to make a mind wonder. Yeah. That's what we say. You gotta make a mind wonder. Yeah. And so I got a mind wonder, and out of nowhere she called me one day. She's like, hey, I really miss you calling me. I really miss this, that, and this and that. You know, let's go out to eat. And so got her. And I knew right then. I said, girl, you ain't, cause I used to drive from Asheville, North Carolina to Charlotte. Okay. Which is about a 3-hour drive one way, bro. I would go there 3 or 4 days a week. 6 hours round trip one day, bro. Boom, boom. Bro, I was in love, bro. But I knew, but the thing is, bro, when you know you want something, yeah, and you know that it's just, bro, because I've been with other chicks, man, and like never did one make me feel like her. Never did I feel connected to one like I felt like I connected with her. And it was not just because I thought she was fine and it was me looking at her shape or it was me, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like a connection that I never felt with nobody else, bro. And I knew that she was the missing component of my life, and I could only go so far without her. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so like I knew I had to have her, and I mean she's the GOAT, bro. Like she's killing the game. I'm about to have you meet her one day. I told David that. I said, first time I ever met David, I'm sorry, y'all, David behind the camera. I said, bro, I gotta let you meet my wife. There's something there, you gotta meet her. And bro, now, you know what I mean? Like she just one of the people, bro. Like she just, once you meet her, like you'll never forget her. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm blessed, bro.
So I hear you talking about a lot of different things, right? You were talking about work ethic. You talked about surrounding yourself with the right people, with your wife. You talked about faith a lot. Mm-hmm. If you had to summarize, like give me the 30-second elevator pitch. If I'm in your position 20, 30 years ago, right? I got nothing right now, but I want to be who you are today. I want to get in the same rooms that you're in today. I want to have the same exposure that you have today. I want to have some of the same success that you have today. What's that 30-second formula that somebody can just take from this, go apply, and get started?
Yeah, man, that's good. First thing I would say is that you're able, you're good enough. Whatever it is that you want to do, like you can do it. The biggest thing is that for me, and I'll say this to anybody, just trust God. Yeah. Just trust that God has a plan for you, and it's to prosper you, not to harm you. And tangibly, like get around people that are doing things that you want to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I did. I got around people that did what I was doing. When I was doing music, I got around people that was doing music at a high level. When I got into barber business, the business of barbering, I got around people that were multimillionaires with several shops, with several schools. And I got in those circles. And so, man, the biggest thing is just trust in yourself, trust your calling, trust your abilities, and just know it's gonna take work. Yeah. Like it's not just gonna fall in your lap. It's gonna take work. But I promise you, like I think E.T. said this, and if E.T. didn't say it, you'll know who's probably said it. But everything that you want is on the other side of hard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like nothing is gonna be easy. Nothing that you want that's gonna sustain you, that's gonna help elevate you to where you want to go in life it's not easy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like my whole life I fought. Your whole life you fought. And if you're watching this, I know you fought your whole life. Yeah. But keep fighting. I'm gonna put it back on you. No, I know, right? Because I'm gonna put it back on you. Like, what would you say? What would be your elevator pitch to somebody that's just?
Yeah, no, it goes back to those 3 things that we talked about earlier. So you've got to have discipline, right? Yeah. And I think the way that you develop discipline is doing something challenging every single day. Yeah. I don't care what that is. If it's a workout, if it's a cold shower, if it's a conversation that you don't want to have, you've got to do something difficult and challenging every single day so that you develop the discipline muscle. Once you have that, that'll ensure that even if you don't feel like it, you're still putting in the work. Yeah. So from there we go passion. Yeah. If you don't know what your purpose is, what your gift is, what your passion is yet, you need to put some serious time into finding it. Like that's priority number 1. Until you understand who you are and why you're here, you are a wandering generality wasting time. You have got to figure out what you're passionate about, what you are gifted at. The way that you can do that is ask other people around you.
Yeah.
Ask your friends and family, hey, what do I not shut up about?
Yeah.
Like I think you mentioned that earlier. What do I always talk about?
Yeah.
What do I talk about so much that it gets annoying? I just can't put it to bed. It keeps me up at night, right? You gotta understand that. And then last but not least is faith, right? If you don't talk to God every day, you're lost. You're flying blind.
Yeah.
Because your spirit determines what your eyes see.
Yeah.
Your eyes don't determine what your spirit feels.
That's right.
It's backwards. And people got to mess up. They say, well, I'm in this environment. I see gangs. I see drugs, all this other stuff you're talking about. Your eyes don't determine what happens in your spirit.
Right.
But your spirit determines what do your eyes see. Do they see an opportunity for growth? Or do they see hopelessness?
Yeah.
Right? So you've got to have that relationship with God. And then I'm going to say this, you wrap all those three things up in environment.
Yeah.
Because even if you're disciplined, passionate, and you have faith, and you're in a terrible environment, and you don't do anything to expose yourself to anything better, and your mind is closed off from the possibility of something better, and you don't have connections and people around you who are showing you how to get somewhere better, it's going to be really, really difficult to do it all on your own. So discipline, passion, faith, wrapped up in a casing of environment. That's what I would say. Real quick, where can people find you before we stop?
Man, yes. Man, look, you can find me on Instagram at Coach Mike Shelton, TikTok at Coach Mike Shelton. Hit me up at CoachShelton.com. Where can they find
Coach
you,
Shelton,
man?
I love it. I am B Burns, right? I am B Burns on all social media and IamBBurns.com.
Now, when you say B as in boy.
B, yep.
B as in boy, not D. So I am B Burns. Y'all follow him, man. He's cold. Y'all see how, I ain't even got to explain. Y'all see how cold he was, man. That's crazy, man. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
I just always knew that if I just kept my focus